If you think Andrew Berry deserves a statue already for what he's done for the Cleveland Browns, like the video. Hit the thumbs up icon. A little premature, sure. I don't believe in building or naming things after people that are still with the team. Shout out to Coach K, way to make it about yourself. But no, I think Berry has done so much for the Browns that down the line, yeah, we're going to get an AB statue. You are watching the Cleveland Browns Report by Chat Sports. I'm Matthew Peterson. We got a mailbag coming your way. Fielded your questions on our live show, as airing right now, Wednesday. So if you ever want to be a part of a future mailbag, all you got to do is subscribe and make sure you keep your notifications on so you don't miss a single thing. So, first question coming in from our friend in Korea. Are you worried about the wide receiver position? I'm not too worried because let's say the Browns, let's go worst case scenario. Landry goes to the Saints. The Browns go defense in round 2. And for whatever reason, defense in round 3. All right, they're going to pick a wide receiver eventually. So at the minimum, Amari Cooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones, don't forget, Schwartz, we got to see him break out. That was the 3rd-round pick last year. So that's not, Jakeem Grant's a good special teams gadget, good flex guy. If that's the worst case scenario, it's not that bad. I don't think it is. Emmanuel, thanks for the question. If Pickens is there, is he your number 1 target? Listen, Pickens, I think, is very enticing. He missed all of last year, but he was one of the top recruits coming out of high school to Georgia. He had Jake Fromm throwing the football for a little bit, so you never got to really see him break through. But Pickens may be that type of player that when you go back and look at drafts, I love looking at old drafts and being like, how did this guy fall? Why was he the 5th wide receiver taken? That may be Pickens. So if he's at 44 and they pick him, I'd love it. Brady Morrison, trade number 44.99, future 3rd for Deebo. Brady, I love that trade package. I suggest you find a way to work for John Lynch, infiltrate from the inside to convince him to trade Deebo Samuel for a 2nd, a 3rd, and another 3rd. He's going to want more. He's going to want a 1st. Look what Tyreek Hill went for. Handful of 1st. Stephon Diggs went for a 1st. Devontae Adams, thank you. He went for a 1st and a 2nd. It's going to require more than a mid-second round pick at best. Ballers with our next question. Baker for Tyler Lockett. Yeah, I got beachfront property in Oklahoma for you too, because the Seahawks, I think, them bringing back Geno Smith doesn't really signal that they want to take on Baker. They've got Drew Lock already for $4 million. Then you've got Geno, and a lot of it's incentive-based, but still, we'll put it about $3.5, $4 million. You want to take on Baker's 18, even if the Browns eat $5, $6, $7 million, that's a lot of money at the quarterback position. And Tyler Lockett's not easy to move. He just signed a contract extension. So his number, the Seahawks would have a ton of dead cap. Why? I don't see them doing it. Would be fun, though. I like the idea. Anthony Willis, what's the latest on Will Fuller to the Browns? Good question, Anthony, because Will Fuller, the rumors surrounding him have kind of died off. We haven't really seen much of him or heard much from him about potentially going to Cleveland. It would be fun I got to envision him and Deshaun Watson to reunite. They spent a handful of years together in Houston. Fuller, that former first-round pick out of Notre Dame, just never could stay healthy. That's his biggest issue. He got suspended 1 year. Last year he played in 1 or 2 games. He's always been injured. But when he's out on the field, he's one of the best deep threats. He stretches the field. He makes the safeties take an extra step back, which makes you think if only you could have Fuller and Landry, because then Landry can work over the middle a little better. But should the Browns sign Will Fuller? I want you to approach this question meaning that's the last of the wide receiver signings. Kind of Will Fuller or Landry. But S for sign, P for pass. Should the Browns sign Will Fuller? Let me know what you think down below. Mason, a frequent commenter and watcher, appreciate you, my guy. Browns, what do you think about the Browns' record will be this season? Ultimately, it comes down to Deshaun Watson. How many games does he play? Right now, it's almost like the ESPN win percentage thing where it keeps moving up and down. But it's looking like if the current suits go into the season and nothing's resolved, the NFL is not going to suspend him until it's all done, and they'll do their investigation. And if that's the case, he'll play 17. And if he plays 17, which I'm just going to go under that assumption, 12-win season, 12-5. I don't know if I'm ever going to get used to having 17 games. It should be 12-4. It should be 12-4 with an asterisk if you won the game, and no asterisk if you lost. Browns rule. You rule. I think Felton is better than Hunt with the Madden moves. Yeah, okay. I haven't played Madden in a long time. Does anyone still play Madden? Honest question. I have not gotten Madden in a long time. I loved what I saw out of Felton. Was it the Cardinals game? I think it was the Cardinals game where you're like, he really could start breaking onto the scene. And then, I don't know if he just wasn't impressing enough in practice, but you didn't see the reps, tack on more and more as the season went on. But I know, give me Kareem Hunt over Felton every single day. We got another question from Ballers. What if we trade third rounder and John Johnson for Jamal Adams? That's intriguing. You're getting closer, I think. I just don't see the Seahawks trading away a player. Like, they don't want to trade Adams and get a mediocre safety and a third. At this point, if they're trading Adams, then they're rebuilding. And if you're going to rebuild, you don't do that with John Johnson. Good player, not a rebuild player. You rebuild draft picks. And I don't know if a third is enough. Maybe a second would do it, but I don't want to give up a second. What I do want you guys to do, though, is go ahead and subscribe. Join the best dog pound on YouTube because we are the fastest growing YouTube channel according to my analytics, which are not very good math, so maybe I'm wrong. But you can be a part of the best Browns news and rumors coverage. One of the fastest growing channels, like I said, so make sure you subscribe today if you haven't already, especially as we get closer to the NFL draft. Bill Riley with our next question. If we cannot trade Baker, then he should sit for the whole year. However, if a trade, if possible, with the Steelers, we should. No. Wouldn't it be more exciting? All right, well, I can't picture the Browns and the Steelers trading quarterbacks, like trading a quarterback between the two franchises. Now, there was something I saw from Pro Football Focus on Twitter this morning that if the Browns were to release Baker, the Steelers would be the first team to jump on him. I think if you're Pittsburgh, you have to troll Cleveland. It's a big gamble, though, because if you go get Baker and he sucks, it's going to look so bad that you got the Browns sloppy seconds, and it's like fat sloppy seconds, But if Mike Tomlin does what Mike Tomlin always does and finds a way to make winners, then that would really suck. Next question. Appreciate you, TRD, I think. Do you think Antonio Brown is a last resort for Cleveland's wide receiver problem? I talked about AV a couple weeks ago on the show. I honestly had no idea what to expect, but it was not a resounding yes. I couldn't comment. I couldn't begin to formulate a thought on what Brown's future in the NFL looks like. If there is a future, I don't think the Browns are going to be that team. Barry's put together an awesome locker room. You really want to throw a stick of dynamite in it and see what happens? I don't want to be there for that. Another question from Browns Rule. Do you think we could get Olave at our draft pick? No. Short answer, no. Chris Olave, I would be blown away if he falls to Cleveland at number 44. I also thought JOK was a first-round pick last year, and he fell to Cleveland. So, it's the NFL draft. Anything can happen, but no. Okay, I'll tell you this. Chris Olave would have fallen to the Browns at 44 when Bo Callahan gets friends at his birthday party. That's how long it's going to take. Speaking of the NFL draft, though, give me a draft sleeper. We are less than a week away. Who is someone you can't do first or second round names? I'll start the line at third round and later. Someone you think everyone else is sleeping on. I think the best way to find sleepers is talk to people who are like friends of yours that have a guy in the draft who went to their college that they watched all their college games. And this guy's underappreciated. I watched every single game of his in college. He didn't go to Alabama or Ohio State. He wasn't in playoff contention. But this guy's an absolute freak. Give me your best draft sleeper down in the comment section. Chris Hartman, what about the kicker? I'm not sold on McLaughlin. Chris, thanks for the question. I agree. I'm not either. Chase got off to a phenomenal start last year, and then it kind of went sour down the end. How about Dicker the kicker? He went to Texas. I can think of a couple good kickers that went to Texas. Phil Dawson, Justin Tucker. And his name rhymes. That's about 55% of the logic for me. His name's Dicker the kicker. I don't see how it goes wrong. So get me Dicker the kicker. Get me the San Diego State punter, who I deserve a little bit of a signing bonus for boosting his draft stock up since January. Carl Maxey, That's a fun name. Any good draft sleepers in day 3? That's what we're talking about. Talk about draft sleepers. Okay, so there are a couple guys out there. I asked earlier for draft sleepers. One of the wide receivers that, let's say Cleveland decides round two is defense, and they want to go defense again early in round 3. How about Romeo Doubs? You ever watched him in Nevada, Mountain West? He was another type of, we'll say, versatile player. He can field punts. You can line him up in a variety of positions. The guy's just got kind of game-changing ability to him, playmaking ability. And that's what you're looking for, I think, later in the draft. Now, just because a guy gets drafted in later in round 3, round 4, don't write him off. There have been some phenomenal players that have come later in the draft. Remember that every single draft class. But Romeo Doubs, that's my draft sleeper. Someone put me onto him. Can't remember who it was, but appreciate you because I started watching his tape and I've fallen in love with the guy. Sal, the worst guy in Impractical Jokers. Could you see the Browns trading anyone to get some draft picks? It's a good question, Sal. I wish they brought Joe back to Impractical Jokers. But listen, the Browns are in win now mode. I don't really see Barry trading away players that can impact the team to help them win right now for future draft capital. If a trade were to come blow Barry away, sure. But I'll actually double down on win now mode. They are in win playoff games now. It does not make the playoffs or bust. You have to win in the playoffs. You don't get Deshaun Watson and give him $230 million. You don't make Denzel Ward the highest paid corner in the NFL. You don't have Myles Garrett, one of the top paid defensive ends and one of the best defenses in the NFL. The list goes on and on. You don't pay all these big contracts out to just make the playoffs, to show up and get a participation trophy. This isn't the Colts. We're not hanging a banner for showing up to the game. After my TED Talk, maybe Greedy Williams. That would be the only guy. I was thinking about it, and you're not going to trade anyone from your starting offense. You don't get Deshaun Watson to trade away pieces. On the defensive side, there's a lot of good pieces. You're kind of with Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome, 2 first-round picks. Maybe you could spare moving on from Greedy Williams, getting a future pick and drafting another corner. Kind of, you got Torrey Hill. You can make do. It's not a really good option, but that'd be my only idea if you wanted to trade someone away to get a future pick. Make sure you are subscribed to the Cleveland Browns Report here on YouTube. We got the best and latest Browns news and rumors coming your way. We keep it light. We crack cold ones with you. We talk brownies. We talk the dog pound. And if you hate the Steelers, you hate the Ravens, you hate the Bengals, you're in good company here.